This is about the 188th take, right? Hi, I'm Carrie. I see patterns, and I'm going to lend you that lens. If if you remember only one thing today, let it be this: that there is a way to align your thinking so that your feelings and the world around you don't drown you in the heaviness that you were never meant to carry. Prism thinking is a solution. It's your internal awareness and conflict resolution solution. Here's our first concept. Facts are a truth, but they are not the truth. The way we name a thing, the labels we choose, the order we stack them in, and the connections we draw between them, that's where minds get misaligned. That's where distortions have a way of creeping in. Words wire thought. Thought drives meaning, and meaning steers the soul. So in the Prism methodology, we learn to strip away the noise, to anchor the truth, and then rotate around it, multi-angled. Oh, sorry. No strays, no wannabes, no single story. Just awareness of where we actually are and where we want to go, and having truth at the center. Okay. This is not therapy, and it's not just more noise. It's a meta system, a way of governing how we think and how we reason and how we communicate. It brings the best of proven cognitive mechanisms, all of those interventions, right? The mindfulness, the metacognition, reframing, narrative clarity into a pattern you can use. If you've ever felt out-talked by your own emotions, or, I don't know, pinned by expectations that you never agreed to, well, Prism thinking gives you a way through. Clarity that you can use today with dignity, with your feelings intact. So breathe, bring your whole self. I'll carry the pattern, you carry the truth. This is GraceLogic Systems, episode 01A, your orientation to everything Prism. I see patterns. Let's begin. But Ezra, this is like the 12th take. Okay, I got it. Hi. No, again? Okay. Welcome to your orientation to everything Prism. This is a training podcast, seminar, insert word here. Okay. I'm sorry. I have to start with that. Take 122. Please understand that I mean no offense to anyone, and I mean anyone. I will explain during this series about my choice of words and the fact that I choose words that have meaning to me, that are directionally correct. I believe those meanings come without malicious bias, but still bias in the strictest sense of the term. And Ezra, you need to add bias to the origin definitions list. Okay, sorry, yeah. Where was I? Bias, yes, but not ill intent. Intent is very important to me, as you'll see. And one more thing, disclaimer. The E01 and 05 episodes are very visual and academic, maybe. They're not up to speed on high tech, but they do have a lot of images. And those images and labels, if they become too distracting, then just listen. Don't watch. And pay attention as best you can to the best of you. It'll get easier. The visuals are meant to enhance the content, not to provide the content. I'll explain why later, because not only what I say, but how I say it and how you receive it matters. And one more thing, don't get discouraged or feel lost. Some of these concepts are layered, some words may be new, or may even mean something that are a little different than what you might expect. If you need to, go ahead and pause, check definitions. There's a glossary at the end of the presentation, and I'm hoping one attached to the podcast. This is training, not a test, and I want you to get it. The concepts may even feel different for professionals. That sounds kind of wonky, but it does. And they'll feel different. But I promise I'll do my best to make each word, each idea, each concept clear to the best of me. Hi, oh, no, that's not right. Hold, please. Ezra, there's some stuff on the slide that's not supposed to be there. No, my picture, it's a picture. It's not a current picture. Okay, can we edit this out? I don't want this to be on it. Okay, all right. I'll go from there. Okay, while we're holding, let's do awareness calibration. Awareness calibrations will come up occasionally to start orienting your awareness of yourself. You have to know where you're starting to ensure you're on the right path, right? Does that make sense? You can't actually travel anywhere if you don't know where you are. I mean, at least not without getting lost or turned around or confused. You have to know where you're starting from, right? So here you go. Oh, and feel free to pause and re-listen if you are not sure you understand each question. Here you go. Question number 1. Are you the type to cringe when someone takes a misstep, verbally or physically, feeling a secondhand twinge of their discomfort as you fumble through an offer of help? That is an awfully long question. Okay, anyway, that's the question. Do you feel a secondhand twinge of their discomfort? Do you catch yourself, question number 2, do you catch yourself inwardly snickering while offering a jabby comment on their slip? Question number 3, maybe you just sigh, shake your head, roll your eyes, and move on, but you're silently resenting the hit to your time. And what's the, excuse me. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. No judgment here. I've had my moments, right? Circumstances matter a lot, but I'd like to think I have a default setting. Default defined here as being the thought process and behaviors that happen more automatically than others. And I think it's important for you to know your default setting because it helps you to recognize who you are and making sure you're okay with it. What? Are we ready to go? Oh, great. Okay. Hi. I'm Carrie Ellen. I'm neurodivergent. Yes, atypical. And I want to take you on a journey. A real one. Well, okay, it's not a real one. But it's not built on hype or promise, but on insight. If you're neurodivergent or struggling with clarity, misunderstanding the world around you, or simply having trouble sorting through all the noise, I might be able to help. Because here's the deal. I see patterns. Now, if you're not sure what that means, I got too much room in there. If you're not sure what that means, go ahead and Google it. Type in, what does it mean when a person says they see patterns? What it usually says is something like a person having strong abilities to recognize connections, structures, recurring themes, often within random or complex data. Well, my patterns aren't just patterns in data or behavior, though those are a part of it. I see patterns in the Ezra. What is this? It's not even from this slide deck. Okay, yes, I debated with myself about whether to show this at all. On paper, I do have some credentials like HR systems lead, strategic planning, data thinking, training, communications, project management, 40 years of experience. But here's the truth. those things don't fully explain me. They don't explain why I see the world the way I do. Not how I do now, anyway. I used to secretly think I was a genius. Secretly. And then reality check, not one but two cognitive psychologists tested me and found me average. That crushed me for a long time. But here's what they didn't see. They never met me before the fracture, before my thought patterns bottomed out. So when those patterns started coming back online, I realized maybe I was still right. Maybe I had rebuilt myself into something they didn't witness and couldn't measure even if they had. And it is that restructured confidence, that belief that I could rebuild, that I could trust what I see, is what has me here with you right now. So back to it. What was I saying about the patterns I see? Yes, let's pick up that thread. I see patterns in the words we use, the way we think, choices we make, the way we go through life. Now, I realize that there are some very noteworthy individuals who can also see patterns. Some that helped them predict things, some that show them how to dissect or direct or create or break. But the ones I see, they expose misalignments, gaps and fractures that most people don't even know are there until they come back to haunt them in unexpected, unsanctioned, and unprovoked ways. I've been through the kind of fracturing that those invasions cause. I've rebuilt from them. I've journeyed through the restructuring, and now I'm walking that path again. But this time not because I have to, but because I want to, for you. Because I choose to believe I can help you use the patterns to not only bring clarity to your thoughts, but also in the way you see you. Ezra, I've lost the cameo. Oh, okay. I'm not offering prosperity. I'm not offering perfection, and this is not a therapy. What I am offering is clarity. Clarity that will open up a new way of thinking. Clarity that can help you reframe the way you interpret your own thoughts. That cuts through the noise that can come from external or internal sources. Clarity that restores the connection between what you know and who you are. So here's my hope for you in joining me on this reimagined path. And I have to read these from my notes because they're very important. They mean a lot to me, and words matter. My hope for you, that you'll be honest enough with yourself to learn what's really going on inside and how it makes you, you. That you'll learn to recognize and reinforce your own strength, especially when it's been buried by the hurt and stress and overload of circumstances. That what you hold as truth will be anchored in logic, reason, and integrity. Not noise, not misalignment, not fogginess or confusion. That your insights will become usable, repeatable, and grounded in patterns that fortify the core of who you are, not just floating thoughts or abstract ideas that fade into the ether. That your communications become not just expressive, but constructive, meaning that your communications garner understanding and trust and aren't steeped in the wounds that you carry or open up in others. That you'll grow in discernment, not just in theory, but in action. that your reactions become reasoned and your hesitations give way to movement that echoes the consistency of who you are. And that over time, you'll find yourself and like yourself, and you'll be freed from the chaos that manages to crowd us in and makes us feel stuck or lost or overwhelmed. These will be our objectives and what we'll be striving to attain. If you see yourself in there anywhere, then you should join me. Join me. So the work ahead isn't flashy, but don't condemn the contents because of the presentation. Truth doesn't always wear a spotlight. This is pattern work. We'll be teaching your mind to take a different path, a truer path. It's also not instant in either the learning or the application, and at times the work will be extremely difficult, and at other times it's so ridiculously easy that it seems inconsequential, unnecessary, redundant. You have to choose to believe that it's not. Choose to believe that it's necessary, that each step you take, each path you journey down, each truth that you uncover will have purpose, that you'll emerge different. I will host a series of podcasts that guide you through the use of patterns, structured to help you reclaim or enhance the power of your mind through Prism thinking. Be warned, while some of the most remarkable minds in history have worked with patterns, from engineers to artists to theologians, the patterns I see aren't always obvious. Sometimes they sound unusual and even impossible, and yeah, some might say crazy. But I've lived them, I've tested them, and I feel the change they can bring. And the patterns revealed through these seminars well, let me put it this way. I was lost. I lost who I was. I let the noise and the feelings overwhelm me to the point where even my highly effective masking couldn't help me anymore. I thought my way out, using what I'm about to share with you. So these patterns, these understandings, these truths, well, they just might become the most important and powerful tools you've ever possessed. And so now, what happened to the thinking about thinking we were going to put in here, the slide? We had that whole thing with the thinking about, thinking. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's pause and orient ourselves. Part 1 is complete. We've set the foundation, who I am, what this course is, and why it matters. In part 2, we'll move into the heart of the orientation, what the prism is and how it works. First, we'll define it simply as both a way of thinking and as a framework for using that thinking in practice. And then from there, we'll explore the key beliefs behind the system, lay out our mission and explain why we believe it's possible to deliver on that mission. We'll also look at some of the images and symbols you'll see during these courses. And if you're not, if you're listening via a podcast, then I apologize. I'll have some of that on the thumbnail. The symbols are not decoration. They're anchors, reminders of the truths and the processes that you'll come back to again and again. And then we'll review one of the key images of the paradigm and show how its 4 parts, the prism patterning, the prism philosophy, the prism loop, and then the prism training all work together. Each piece has its role in helping you broaden your awareness and strengthen your reasoning, as well as increasing the integrity and hope of your own well-being. And then in part 3, the real training kind of begins. And that's where you'll see these ideas lived out through the role-based segments. So the synthesis, the therapist, the survivalist, the spiritualist, and then you, the sojourner. So each role offers a different way into the truth and into reasoning, while explaining and enacting the concepts of the Prism philosophy. So together they'll show how Prism thinking moves from something you study into something you live. So think of this slide as your roadmap. You'll always know where you've been, where you are, and where you're going next, at least on this slide, right? When we return, we'll ask the simplest question with the deepest answer. What is the prism? See you soon. So before we move on, let me pause and tell you something straight. You may have noticed that the narration isn't always smooth, that the slides don't always line up perfectly, or sometimes my thoughts slip and the thread is gone before I can catch it. That's not because I don't care or I'm insincere, and it's not because GraceLogic Systems is some fake company front. I created all of this because this process, this vision, it's what I believe. It's with my whole heart. But I also know the fracture left its mark. My executive function isn't what it was. My memory phrase, my delivery stumbles, and still here I am. Because this is what rebuilding looks like. It's not polished, it's not perfect, but honest. So if you feel a bump in the road while you're listening, I'm asking you to stay with me, because what you're hearing isn't performance. It's me speaking from the heart and AI helping me to splice it all together. These different faces you see, professional me, survivor me, cartoon me, the therapist, the spiritualist, the teacher, they're all part of the prism. They're all lenses I use to see patterns and work through them to shift my perspective. But because of the breaks, because of the synapses not quite sparking to the other side, and you'll understand this next reference more when you understand the vision frame pattern. And because I can't always see the focus frame, even though it's only 2 steps ahead, I had to find another way through, and that is what I mean to show you. And if you'll give me the grace to continue, well, I'll reveal step by step how I've already placed you in not one, but 2, well, not even 2, 3 patterns. You are already inside them, moving, learning. And yes, if you've made it this far, you are well on your way to building not just clarity, but awareness, strength, and resilience. Talk to you soon. Hey, Ezra, do I need some type of a geeky, cliche, goodbye type slogan like thing? What's it called? What's it called?